What is up, guys? Alienhead's here, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about society and the ways that it's changed and developed.
Because like how society acts and how society is nowadays is totally different from the way it was 100 years ago, 20 years ago, hell, 5 years
Society's
ago.
evolved. Like we've created new
Crazy
technologies to combat like sickness and illness, and we've created vaccines. We've created all that kind of stuff
We even have new fears
to make
with it.
society even bigger and last longer and thrive more.
And we even have like new fears. Like I mean, like society has changed so much that if we like took this phone that I have in my hand and went back, let's say 40 years, 50 years, hell, let's go back 150 years, they would hang me at the stick and call me a witch. Even though it have proof, here it is, they'd be like, what the hell do you mean, internet?
There's not even, like, that wasn't even a thought back then. Like, there was no thought of what internet is. There was no thought of there's gonna be internet one day. Nobody thought, like, like, you know how we think, oh, one day there's gonna be hover cars and shit like that. They were never like
the Jetsons.
Yeah, exactly. They were never like, I at least, to my knowledge, I don't believe that they were ever thinking, you know, one day I'm gonna have a device in my hand that I can call people with, and I can check my text, like I can text people, I can send people messages, and I can do my banking on there, and I can actually, now they have phones that you can, or apps and stuff through banking that you can actually use your phone as a debit card.
Exactly.
Like with tap, and you
what
can
we do is we keep closing bridges, we keep closing gaps, as in like, back in the day, it must have been hard for guys, like, to be able to get a girl, you actually had to show up her house and like talk to her with your mouth. Like, and what we did is we bridged a gap.
Exactly.
Where for thoughts in my head to get to your head doesn't have to be verbal anymore.
We
both have a device that we can send a message. And what we're going to do is we're going to continue.
Sitting in a room with full of people, if you want to have a discreet conversation between two people, you can send a message now, rather than back in the day when you would actually have to pull that person aside, walk out, and be like, "Hey, man, this is what's going on."
You'd have to stand on a stage and
exactly, and everybody would know that you're having a conversation, right? And they'd be like, "Hey, what was that about?" But now you can just do it discreetly.
But now society is going to continue to close those gaps, to close those bridges. One day we're not going to need our phones.
We're not going to have complications like that. We're not going to have to think about holding a device in our hand to call people. We're gonna be like, could you imagine living way back then when we had cell phones that we held in our hand and called people with? Like, that was crazy. Like, say plus 300 plus years from now or whatever, right? When there's no more such thing as cell phones or devices handheld.
Do you think when that happens, like, security be more better? Security as in identity theft or identity theft and like.
See, that's tough because there's a lot more things that you can access. Like, if everything goes to like bigger scale, like everything, like banking's all on phones and stuff like that, it seems like it would be more of a thing for them to be able to hack into, like more options to find your information. But at the same time, as long as those companies are doing what they're supposed to be doing and creating like their privacy policies are what they say they are, and they're following them strictly, then we shouldn't have any of that problems. And their security's good. They're
I already know like they're starting the prototypes, and I've heard about this a while back, and I keep hearing more about it. But they literally want to take a mesh and put it on our brains, and with this mesh, is we can literally connect our minds to the internet. We can literally sit down and watch a 30-minute video and know how to fly a plane. And it's like we download knowledge, and so I've always, when I heard this, I couldn't help but think is like Skynet and this whole like fear that like robots are going to take over, technology is going to take over.
That makes sense, because the technology being in your head, that would be paranoia.
Like, when we think, robots are going to take over, we picture a line of Terminators coming over the horizon with guns.
But what
we don't picture is robots taking over, is they're taking over us, because we're going to have artificial hearts, we're going to have artificial livers, we're going to have artificial brains now too.
So true.
And now we're going to connect to the internet. Now
the 3D printed lungs and stuff like that, like it's not human, it's not biologically human things anymore. It's actually created from materials that come from like the earth and stuff like that. And
they're coming out with a mechanical liver that's made to process alcohol. You'll never overdrink. You'll never have a hangover. You'll never get.
You ever seen fucking what's it called? That the movie. Oh my goodness! Fuck, what's it called now? It's
Hope There's Ever Beer in Hell.
No. It's like the juice. Like he has to like get adrenaline pumping to. Cranked. Yes,
Cranked.
exactly. You remember? I think it's
Yeah.
Cranked 2 when he gets the artificial heart.
Yeah.
That's like it's all see through and everything. It's got like the metal, like the.
I think it's like a
It's
little
completely
defibrillator. Or is
Yeah,
there something
basically inside of his body, and then he has like a little monitor on the outside, right? So stuff like that. Like once we start getting into technologies like that, I can only see people's fear of robots taking over,
Exactly.
becoming more of not like like you said, a Terminator coming towards us, robots coming at us, kind of thing. Like robots being their own thing, and it's more of them taking over us.
Now here's the next thing though: is that good or bad? Because on one side, we could unlock immortality, where we have fake designed bodies that
that
falls off,
will last us forever. We can just repair.
We have our memories, our minds. Now here's the thing: is population is already a problem. It's a huge problem. Like that's one of the reasons why we have more
and if
wars.
we
population
have
control.
Exactly.
Now we're gonna have more people born, people wanting kids,
and
stuff,
then people not dying as quickly.
Yeah, now we're not gonna have dying. So
just
we do one thing
even just from the past and everything, like the life expectancy has changed drastically. Like now people are living like 100. You see people living to 100, 120. Back in the day, like you're lucky if you live to 50, 60,
exactly.
right?
No, it's already
it's all the new medications and everything. Once we start getting further in time, I can only imagine people will live like 150 years and stuff like that, right?
It's already happening. Like I'm not too sure where I heard it from. I believe it was like a Joe Rogan show, and they're talking about it, and it said like there's a human alive today that'll reach to the year 200 years old, whether it be through mechanical organs or through new medicine and stem cells or even through AI. There's a person alive today, even that person was just born today. There's a person alive today that will see the year 200 years old.
Wow, that's crazy. Because of the technology that we're going to create and everything, right?
And exactly. And
it's not like a person specifically.
That could be just what we have today. If what we use today on a person, we can make them live 200 years old. Now, obviously, you can't do it in America. You're not going to afford it.
Yeah.
It's advanced technology. So, like maybe like even I would imagine the president would have a hard time getting a hold of it because he's only in term for 8 years.
Exactly.
So for someone to actually get all the access to all the technology, it'd be very hard, but if you were able to, you could live for a very, very long time.
And that's crazy to think about that. Like,
we're never gonna get rid of Trump.
think about too the fact of like, what are we gonna do once population becomes an issue? When
it is
like it's already an issue as is, but I mean, think about when it gets worse. When we start living like twice as long as we are now.
But here's the thing:
how are we going to get rid of people? Like, what's going to happen? We're going to have wars.
But this is the thing: maybe not. Because what if we're living longer? What do we need to survive? Do we need food or do we need oil? Do we need gas? How do we do we need food? Do we need You know what I mean?
It's gonna be a bunch of different things to keep us alive. Like we're gonna need repairs on our artificial hearts and limbs.
It's the whole it's that whole like the future thing. Like food comes in pill form, but it's not food like it's a cheeseburger now. It's here's all your vitamins for the day. This is what
exactly.
You need. This is exactly what you need. Yeah. Boom, you take this pill, you're good to go for the day, and like,
that's
nothing
crazy.
Else. And then we don't have to worry about
but that doesn't seem to like it would satisfy you. Just like it feels like if you didn't eat, you get that sickness, that stomach sickness when you don't eat.
So that's the thing is that like, what if you didn't have a stomach? Is that we replace
just bypass it, and we basically the pill makes our bodies run.
Like all 3D printers, we've already made lungs, we've made livers. By the time we're gonna make everything our body has, and then after that point, what do we do? What do we use? Do we need anything? Hell, at that point, do we need oxygen?
For real.
Like, could we actually transform and play God with ourselves and actually change ourselves?
Yeah, really. Like, it's gonna be like that's crazy. Like to think about just the fact of all the advances that are already here and the progress we're gonna end up making.
It was never survival of the fittest. It's survival of he who can adapt to his environment the quickest. And guess what? People are gonna survive for a very long time.
Very true.
But what does that do? Like that, wouldn't that corrupt society? Because now that you're gonna live forever and all you need is this goddamn pill, who's gonna contribute to society? Would society be the same? Would people need to go to work? Would people need to make money to have their houses though? Because there
would be nothing that you really need, no necessities.
We have everyone here. Everyone's here. We're all the same. We're not going anywhere. We're not dying. You know, if you do die, there's a backup on a USB at home. Plug yourself into a new body. Go ahead and have fun today.
Jeez,
like what would like that's actually like pretty crazy to think about. Would you?
And eventually
would you
they
need
need-
money? Would you need currency? Would you need food? Would you?
I think that's always going to be a factor. The fact of currency and everything like that. You're always going to need to purchase items. There's always going to be something that you need to
Exactly.
need to obtain
I think
to
history will
to
repeat
create life, like to go on in life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Whether
mean-
it be new parts for yourself, if like we were talking about biological like implants, like
What if history repeated itself and we did fur trading almost?
Uh,
You can
yeah,
go
as
back
in
to
like as
trading.
in your parts, as
parts
in
and possessions.
yes, okay. So like currency
And
is
what do you
kind of
make?
eradicated, and then it's just only like bartering and trading
Yeah,
and
bartering
all
and
that kind of
trading.
stuff.
And-
See, I thought that, but then there's nothing that you can do. Like I was always the type of guy that was like, that would be a great idea. I would love to live that way, always be able to barter and trade and not have to worry about like money and stuff like that. And it's like it can never happen because if you have jobs, like say I work at Chrysler, so I go to Chrysler, I put in my 40 hours a week or whatever it is, I go work my time, and then, but what do you get? You can't get paid. Like, what are they going to give you? You can't barter. There still has to be a currency because you worked. What are they going to give you? A car every 3 months? Like, you go work because people need to drive, people need cars, people need a way to get around.
Yeah.
So you're always going to need workers to work for you unless robots become.
Like if we actually
Yeah,
became
really. I
cyborg-ish-
guess robots can replace those workers in the future once we have mechanical everything and stuff like that.
if we're
We
mechanical,
wouldn't have to
everything
worry
else is
about.
mechanical.
So then, if there's no jobs, then do we need money?
And it's like the mechanical age, and people are going like, "Oh my god, machines are taking over our jobs." What if machines actually? What if we gave it a chance and said, "Let's let machines take over ourselves"?
But I think what everybody's scared of is once machines take over our jobs, that's it. Like there's no
We're
going
not gonna
back.
make
No,
it,
like
yeah.
no. Like no company is gonna be like, we're saving this much money from using robots, but it took away jobs. So let's pay this much more a year. So many million more a year to have workers so that we can have jobs, so that people can have money. Right.
Exactly.
That's what everybody's afraid of. Once the companies realize how well robots and everything will work, and yes, there's still going to be maintenance on the robots break down and everything, but that's maybe 10 jobs compared to 3,000 jobs in the plant if you take over robots.
No, yeah, exactly. And it's weird. Like you never know what's gonna happen because like even like 100 years ago, we were doing everything. Like even like between now and 100 years ago, there's so many jobs that are lost, especially on production lines and stuff like that are just taken over by machines.
Like when Ford Assembly Plant was first created,
Yeah.
the amount of jobs, the boom in society and everything like that was created because there were so many people that were needed in those factories because there wasn't machines, there wasn't robots and stuff to build it. But if you go look at a plant back then, how many people were needed and how many people are needed in a plant now, the difference is just insane.
Now it's like what they needed 10 people to do, they need one just to fix the machine when it breaks down once every 15 days.
Exactly, right?
And that's the way it is that it seems like society, since we stepped out of the cave or we stepped out of the water, wherever the fuck we came from, whatever we did, since day one, it was never good enough for us.
We're always trying to achieve better and make our lives easier.
yeah,
we're always trying to find a way
trying to make
to
things simple.
shortcuts.
Yeah.
We're always looking
always,
for shortcuts.
Always. And it's just, like, from heat to travel to even food nowadays.
All necessities, like food, like people aren't satisfied with the food they get. We make better restaurants to create 5-star food, 5-star meals, because people aren't satisfied with the food intake that they're getting.
Now.
Yeah, I want a selection. I need a restaurant with a big variety. People are getting picky. Like back in the day, people were just ate what was there. They grow their stuff in their own garden, and that's what you ate. And now society's just getting so much more intolerant for like lack of variety.
I mean, like think of it. Even
like you go to a store, if you go to a store and there's one shelf, you know what I mean? But it's got like everything you need, all the basic things, but one selection, like one brand of each. And you go to a store next door and it's got a huge selection, huge variety, 10 different brands of every different item.
And they're competing.
You're gonna go to that store.
Yeah.
But because society's gotten picky, society needs variety. It's just
And it's one big shitstorm. It's what do you call it? The melting pot. It's global. It's economic. It's stupid. But like another shortcut that we all have done and what we all use every day is a simple cell phone. For everything my cell phone can do now, 30 years ago would spread across this table and fill it. I'm talking like a typewriter and I got an envelope to send a message. That takes 6 days.
Exactly, right?
I would need an actual phone from like Alexander Graham Bell to have a phone call. I would need a calculator. You know what I mean? Like so much, and now it just fits into my pocket.
It's crazy to think.
Satisfied with this.
We always try to get bigger screens and bigger and small. I want a faster phone. I want a smaller phone. I need better internet connection. I need one with a better resolution screen and all that, and more megapixels and all that shit.
We're never happy. If you would have gave a guy
if you gave a guy a cell phone the size of a cinder block
from
50 years ago,
the early 1990s,
exactly,
when it first came out.
No, like I mean literally this, like bigger than that. Like I'm saying,
put that up to your head.
Like I'm saying, like the size of a literal cinder block. Somebody gave somebody that and said you can talk on this. You can call somebody across the world.
Yeah, like one of those
if that was the case, they wouldn't care the size of it. They would be like, "Are you serious? You can talk on this, and I can hear somebody across the town."
Motherfucker, no
like
way,
that wouldn't even make sense.
Blow their minds. And now like we're used to it. Now like we've gotten so used to it that we don't care that it's there. We don't see how like valuable
how often
really
we
is.
use it, and like
I think
we were talking about the grayscale thing the other day. You select your phone, you put your phone on grayscale, and you tend to look at it less because it's less appealing to you.
Dull.
And that's the thing. If society was less appealing, like if things in society were less appealing, like drugs or stuff like that, then people wouldn't go to them.
Yeah, exactly.
More or less.
It's like we always need to have something there. We always need to have.
We're always trying to find something. Something better.
And like the thing is that like
life isn't good enough as is. I need to find something to make my life better, and I need something more exciting.
We're so stupid, and we don't even think of the future. Like we don't even think, okay, yeah, it's gonna make life really easier for us, but it's gonna fuck up people down the road.
Exactly.
And we're like, who cares? We gotta use it, man. That's awesome. Fuck
exactly.
Yeah. Like, and there's 1,000 witnesses every day when we drive a car. It's easier for us to get to work to really think about how it's gonna. Fuck
yeah, the emissions and everything, and the pollution, the holes in the ozone layer, and everything.
A couple days ago, we had a goddamn pollution day.
Yeah.
Because we had a global heating and everything was gone to shit, but. With this whole technology, like, we're so satisfied that we don't even realize what we have. Like, we were talking the other night in the steam boom. We came out with a steam engine and we could get across country by this big coal-powered metal piece of shit.
And nobody back then, when that steam came out, the thing is like, we're thinking, oh, the internet is the way of the future. Back then, we weren't thinking anything beyond the steam boom. Like, once we were in the steam boom, we were like, oh my god, steam, this is going to be the way of the future. Yeah, there's nothing better than this. We found energy, we found a way that we can move around and create movement and, through cars and shit like that.
We knew that it was the way of the future, but we didn't think we were going to get off those tracks.
Exactly. And then throughout history, we've gotten, progressively into different things. Like, we've gone from, steam to then nuclear power, then hydroelectricity and all that kind of stuff.
Technology.
And what is now technology and internet and
now we've gone to the
all
point
that kind of stuff.
Where we're expecting
the web.
More. Yeah, now we've gone to the point where we're just expecting it to come. We're like, okay, yeah, so the web and technology came, so what's next?
Exactly.
We haven't even fucking lived and died in one generation yet, and we're like, okay, so...
And the thing that we were talking about the other night is the fact that we'll never know. See, the people that died in the steam age thought steam was the way of the future. Steam is how it's gonna be. So,
what crazy
so 200 years from now, they're gonna be driving around in steam cars and stuff like that. And that when they died, that's what they thought. So when we die, we're gonna think, oh, internet, technology, the web, that's the way of the future. We hit the peak, this is where it's gonna end, this is where, the tip top, we found what society needs, we fulfilled society or whatever.
FaceTime.
Exactly, right? And then, but we're gonna die thinking that. But, say, 200 years from now, 2 generations from now, 3 generations from now, they're gonna die thinking a totally different thing. They're gonna have a whole new kind of boom, a whole new technology, a whole new kind of... It may not even be internet or the web. That might be a thing of the past, just like steam, how we don't use steam anymore.
Yeah. Hell, they could be on a whole nother planet. Hell, they could be in a whole nother fucking solar system, a whole
galaxy. They could
be
in a satellite in the sky.
We could... the possibilities are literally endless. Like we are literally
Like
one
we
step
can't
out
even
of the
think of,
forest.
because we haven't discovered it yet, so we don't know what it is. That's the thing. It's not like we can think about, oh, this could be the way of the future. We haven't discovered it yet. Just like steam, when like back in the steam age or the nuclear age or whatever, they weren't like, oh, we're gonna use hydroelectricity and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
And it's just crazy that like we've done this. Like just think about it. You have this pack of like a group of monkeys in the wild, and they're in the wild. They're fine on their own. Now they have their own predators, everything like that, and they realize that they're weak, that they're not really that strong. And all of a sudden, one day, they pick up the stick and jab,
creates
and they're
power.
and they're like, oh my god!
They have this new authority. They have this new.
Now they're stronger than the rest.
Exactly.
Even though they weren't.
Now they've raised above all the others. Now they've figured out how to use tools to their advantage.
Now that they have this weapon, then they start focusing on other thing. Now, like if nowadays we seen a monkey starting a fire, we'd be like, what the fuck? It's fucked. The government would kill it, kidnap it, test its subjects. But that's exactly what we did. George Carling, if I dropped you off in the middle of the woods with nothing but a knife, how long till you can send me an email? And that's exactly what it is. Like
it's not about surviving. It's about how long till you're back to civilization now. But back in the day, it was about surviving. It was about, I have to live off of what I have. I have to create myself food and stuff like that. But now it's more of like, how do I get back to society? If you're dropped off or you're lost in the woods, it's more of, how am I going to find my way back home? How am I going to get back to society? How am I going to find an email, a phone, anything to contact somebody?
When do you think humans stepped out of the circle between, or crossed the line between nature to civilization / society? Like, when they, was it like the invention, like was the invention of a spear? Was the finding of fire? Was like, what do you think it was that caused humans that started the chain reaction of, oh my god? Like,
to be honest,
it was imagination, I think, where we were able to picture
once we were able to ponder our own thoughts, and once we were able to think for ourselves and think for what would be better for the bigger picture. It's not just about the survival mindset. Once it's more of, what do I have to do to make my life perfect? Like what are the steps? Like, do I have to go through high school? I have to go through college. I have to get a good job so that I can create this life for myself. Like, that's the mindset we have now, it's more or less.
Yeah,
so once the mindset's changed, that we were able to ponder our own thoughts and think about things for ourselves and how
we can make things easier.
For ourselves. Like, I guess it would be more of when we figured out tools, because then once we figured out tools, then we figured out how to think and how to use those tools and how to think for ourselves and how to skin animals and how to
a squirrel
kill
can fuck
things.
Before a spear. Before we had a spear, dude, you don't know what a squirrel can do. So we were scared. Like, we were probably literally scared of every little thing, that we were just as vicious, but we don't really have claws or teeth.
Yeah, we didn't have any.
We did.
Well, like,
but
we did,
but
but once we like learned to use tools and think for ourselves, we kind of evolved. Like, at least in the evolution standards, we evolved out of having fangs and having sharp claws and having hair to keep us warm and stuff like that, because now we have heat and we have, like, electricity.
Do you think, like, our skin got not like weaker and like
it's not as much of an armor, like, it's thinner. Like, we definitely get hurt and cut easier and break easier now, because back then, like, say if we were primates, we were swinging from trees, we were more robust, like beating up, like getting beaten up in like fights with other animals and stuff like that, or other mammals rather.
Do you think we could run, like, even like compared to like Usain Bolt, do you think we could run faster or like be more mobile?
I don't think
what animals can a human really run faster than?
I honestly don't think that we were. Back then, it was more of a running thing. I think it was more of like a survival, like
climbing,
hiding, evading, like, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like trying to
kind of like a monkey, I guess, like a monkey or a orangutan would, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like, not like running and walking places and stuff like that. It's more of like climbing, surviving, trying to get things, trying to hide yourself.
The reason why I keep bringing monkeys up is because that is our closest relative. So when you think like the caveman, there's all the different types of names and stuff. Let's just go from the first one.
Caveman.
Whatever.
Let's just go from caveman.
Yeah, caveman. That's the wrong term, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, obviously.
Do you think that a caveman, no weapons involved, like nothing, we didn't invent those yet, not a club, nothing. Do you think a human can take a monkey a gorilla. Okay, maybe not gorilla or orangutan. Those will fuck you up. We know that. But like a chimp or like a baboon or like.
I honestly, it's hard to say because
We had the
when
size.
cavemen, we had the size, but when cavemen didn't have the tools, we didn't have the teeth, we didn't have the fangs, we didn't have the claws. We were evolving into a human species. So if we didn't have the tools, then a chimp is more of like an aggressive, like, outdoor animal. It's built to survive when, like, and not use tools. So when we were evolving into humans, we were evolving into using tools. If you took that away from us, that'd be devastating. Just like now, if you took away our thumbs, the ability to use tools, you took away our opposable thumbs, society would change completely.
Hey, do you know like?
Because you wouldn't be able to do anything.
Yeah, no, exactly. You wouldn't be able to. You know, monkeys are what 90. Like, I'm just guessing here. 99% us. Like, you know what I mean? DNA wise, they're up there,
It's
right?
something.
They're up
Yeah,
there.
it's a high percentage or whatever.
What if right at that fine line where we were evolving, monkeys was just the village that didn't get it? You
So
know what I
like
mean?
they're
It
the
was
thing
just-
that didn't evolve.
it
Like
was
we
the
evolved
tribe.
and they didn't.
Yeah, like the tribe was just 2 kilometers the wrong way.
So it's more. I think it's more of like. I wonder, is it like a species or is it like a race thing? Like whereas they're like a race that didn't evolve.
Yeah.
Or is it
like,
is it like
or
they're
could a chimp evolve into
yeah? Would a chimp evolve into us eventually?
like a Dawn of the Planet of the like a Planet of the Apes
See,
idea?
and that's what I've always wondered. If we evolved from monkeys and chimps, then how are monkeys and chimps still around? Because why didn't
Well,
they
how
evolve?
are-
Why is their
Yeah.
species not evolved into us if we evolved from them?
Or are they?
What are they? What?
Or are monkeys evolving? Like, are they learning? Are they adapting?
but-
I know
I guess I see what you're saying. Like 200 years down the road, that species of monkeys may be new species of humans.
Well, I know don't quote me on where, but I want to say Thailand.
Or not 200 years. I mean, 2,000 years, but
But I think it's Thailand. I want to say Thailand. There's like the small monkeys, like maybe I don't know, but I'm just gonna go Thailand for now. Like the small monkeys, like you seen on like Anaconda, that guy, like that little monkey.
the capuchins, little capuchin monkeys
yeah,
from
those-
like Hangover or whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, like little ones like those,
Okay.
and like you see the ones like the little like Jewish, like the red hat, and
Yeah.
like collecting money and shit. Ones like that, well, they've literally adapted to the environment where they will come from the woods and they will go into the village and they will stand around and they'll come up and pickpocket you. They will take your wallet right out of your pocket. And even better is people have trained them to go and steal wallets and bring it back to them. And they just sit at home, this monkey comes in, drops a wallet full of money, and leaves to go get another
And
one.
monkeys are just getting so smart to the point where it is believable that they could evolve into something like us because they do have the intelligence. But is it not like the intelligence
No,
of
no,
us.
no, no. What I was
But I'm thinking is, do they have enough? Like, is it they have the intelligence, or is it they only have the intelligence because we've trained them that
because
way?
they've seen us, because
They
they've learned
like
from
they
us.
when they grew up, if they were just in the wild, would they still have the intelligence of stuff
Would-
like
would
that,
they
of
still be adapting and
stuff
evolving
like
and-
of taking things?
You
You know what I mean? Like
yeah, well,
how they
maybe,
you said that they took the
No,
wallet or whatever.
yeah,
Do you
yeah,
think that they
well,
would still be?
Any animal does, I guess, right? Because every animal fights for food. So
Okay.
this would be like their way of fighting for food, but they're doing it in a smarter way, where they don't have to fight something that's going to attack them and viciously back.
They just
know
have to
how-
get the money, and then their trainer gives them
yeah,
a reward.
Yeah, exactly, and then there they go. We have too big of a brain than what we're supposed to, and that's why we have imagination. Imagination and choosing between right or wrong is the biggest thing between a human. And like
That's what sets us apart from other
Yeah.
species. The fact that we can think for
and that's
ourselves. You
actually
mean?
yeah, exactly. And it actually that's what makes humans the most evil creatures or animals on the planet. Because when a lion kills something, it doesn't know if it's right or wrong. It just
It's
thinks
killing it
hungry.
because it needs to eat.
We know we're doing wrong.
Yeah, exactly. So
And
when
we
we,
still
so
do
when
it.
we commit stuff like murders, or we could commit
War.
stuff like war crimes and stuff like that,
We know
we
exactly
know
what
what
we're
we're doing, and that's what makes it wrong. That's why animals don't have a society, as in like have like prisons and stuff like that as societies, because they don't know right from wrong.
You
They
think
don't build societies because they don't know how to think for themselves. That's the only reason we have a society, is because we can think.
What about wolves? Do you think, like, the way wolves act would be like a society? Because like wolves, when one of them's sick, they keep him in front because the one at the back always gets tagged.
Yes,
right?
for
To keep
sure,
him up
for
front.
sure.
When an
Definitely,
animal
like they're
when a wolf
starting
dies,
to show signs.
They lay around the dead until the morning comes, and then they leave together.
And I don't know if that's. I don't think that's more society rather than family. They're more watching out for one another because they know that they need to survive, rather than creating a society which is more like thinking for yourself.
Dolphins do the same, where it's known that they could build relationships. I'm not like too positive, but I'm pretty sure. Like I heard something like, I could be wrong in dolphins too, but I'm pretty sure because dolphins are considered like the next intelligent animal besides us. That they will literally choose a partner and stick with them for life.
Yeah.
Just like humans would. Well, at least humans would, like, before the 2000s.
Yeah,
and everything got all fucky, literally.
Yeah.
But, like
Before everybody, all the
1950s must have been...
sleeping with everybody,
Yeah,
stuff
and all
like
the
that.
clubs and shit. 1950s must have been the best, dude. Like,
Yeah,
around
rather
then,
because it was more of like a strict, like, you found one person, you were married for life, and you stuck together.
Like,
Like
yeah.
that was your soulmate.
It was, oh my
rather than
God.
nowadays, there's divorce and stuff like that. Like, I've heard before, even like I don't know even a time frame, but back when, if you were not with your partner for life, like if you decided to split up, you were shunned. Like like people would not talk to you.
Even some
like,
nowadays, it's frowned upon in some cultures.
It's frowned upon. More not shunned, but frowned upon.
Frowned upon. It still is in some cultures, I believe. But like that's the thing.
Yeah,
like,
for sure. It definitely is for one in some cultures.
The biggest difference, and I think I know why, is because there's too much temptation. There's too much choice. Back then, it was you go to the roller derby, you see a girl there, you guys instantly know you both like to go to roller derby and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, you meet them, you talk to them, and that's it.
But now there's such a wide variety of things to do.
You can literally sit there with a phone full of different people, girls,
talking to all different people,
and everyone's trying to do the same. Now you like all these people, and you want to sleep with multiple people. Now you are
because it's so easy to communicate now. Like it's so easy to talk to somebody.
Yeah, and it's just
way back when you actually had to go and meet and talk to somebody, like we were talking about earlier. You have to go and meet and talk to somebody, and you would actually have to have a conversation. So it was harder to
with your mouth.
It was it was harder to start relationships and stuff like that because you'd actually have to have the physical confrontation.
Yeah, you'd have to.
But nowadays, it's just I can sit there and text. I can go on the internet. I can go on Facebook. I can add 3-4 random girls as a friend. Start messaging them or whatever. I can start a relationship like that just off of messaging.
Well, yeah,
like I don't even have to meet them. If we start hitting it off, we start liking each other and stuff like that. You don't even have to have a physical confrontation to actually get to know somebody and get to like somebody now.
Well, think about what exactly is Plenty of Fish, Doc? What is it, like matingcall.com? It's exactly what it is. Instead of getting on a mating call, here's my profile. This is what I like. This
come
is what
accept
I like.
me. Like
Plenty of fish is plenty of fucks, and that's exactly what it is. And
exactly.
anyone who says wrong, this is what you're on there for. If you want, like, that's what it is. Like, you're not gonna find somebody you want to marry online or in a bar. It's one of those 1950 natural things.
See, I kind of disagree with that because it is a way that you can find people with similar interests and stuff like that. Like there is some people that just go on there and they just browse around just because they want new people to hang out with and stuff like that. But then there is also people that are actually looking for their soulmates and stuff like that and looking for mature relationships.
You can totally spot out right away which ones are serious and which ones are just wanna. And there's some crazy, like, I mean,
and that's the thing. That's what's good about those websites is that you can determine whatever if you want either or. Then you can go and look for that because it's easy to find.
It's just so.
But that's the bad thing is that it's so easy to find nowadays. You can talk to so many people at once. It's just and nobody can know. You can keep it so discreet. You don't have to actually meet that person. You don't actually have to go meet up with that person to talk and to.
Now you can just lay there and like
do something
talk to them on the phone and then fall asleep, and then like you literally had to walk 1,000 miles to show up out their door.
Yeah.
Now you just type 10 digits and they're there.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. And we're only gonna keep like bringing back to other people. We're only gonna keep bridging those gaps and keep making it worse. Like, what do you think relationships in the future will be? You know what I mean? Like, is it always gonna be test tube babies because everyone's fucking each other and getting fucking
STDs and shit?
No, not STDs. Getting like oh fuck. They take out all these sperm.
Sterile?
No, well, yeah, you go sterile. what do they actually call it?
What are you talking about?
It starts with an E. When they take out all your sperm so that way you
Oh, a
can-
vasectomy.
Vasectomy, yeah. Like a vasectomy, and all girls get their tubes tied, and then we just do test tube babies, and when you you get a vasectomy,
So
they keep
so
your
that people don't
sperm.
have to worry about getting pregnant and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then I don't think that, because I think I seen it on Facebook, but it was a video of this idea that's actually, I think they've actually practiced it and tried it a few times, but basically what it is it's a switch that tubes from your
It's like a door.
testicles go, and it's like under your skin, so you feel it, you actually push on your skin, and there's a physical switch there that has each end that go, like
It's
your
almost like,
the tube in your testicles goes through it.
It's almost like that
So you
diagram
can turn
see
it
in
off.
school about electrical currents and stuff.
Exactly,
and
and
it's like,
how the switch
Yeah.
turns it off, that's
Yeah.
exactly what it is. It
Yeah.
literally turns off the flow of your sperm.
I think we could have a second button for fucking like ED.
Yeah, really,
Wouldn't
like
that suck?
instantly injects like a Viagra.
They better fucking have that button well hidden. I don't know where you're gonna fucking hide it. Maybe make like somewhere for the girl like that.
No,
fun trying to
no.
find it. You know what I mean? Different on everybody. But imagine
be so-
bumping on that bitch in the middle of church.
You're sitting there in the
Bless
middle
me,
of like
Father,
a
for I have
presentation.
sinned.
You're sitting there in the middle of a presentation or something in school, and you're just like, you bump against the chalkboard behind you and just pop like a boner right in the middle of class.
Could you imagine girls like, can you please take that thing off vibrate? Like,
But then, when you get into technologies like that, see, this is what worries me, is when you get into technologies of, like we were talking earlier, of hearts that are simulated. They're not even biological. Like, they're actually like simulated materials, and it's like a what are we talking? Like a robotic heart.
yeah,
Okay.
it's artificial.
So an artificial heart. So things like that. So then, do we have to worry about stuff like Bluetooth and Wi-Fi messing up signals and making
yeah.
those extremities and those things act up?
like have like a backup generator for ourselves. Like if the power goes out, we go out, kind of thing.
Like more
A
like
massive
more
drop.
like okay, so like at my work, I'm not gonna say where, but
Yeah.
at my work, the scanners. We have the scanners. If
Okay,
you have
yeah.
if you have your cell phone on like the Bluetooth for like a Bluetooth speaker, just to listen to music or whatever, it interferes with the scanners and the scanners fuck up. So I'm thinking, so as those scanners fuck up, would we have interference with our would we have interference with our body, like with our mechanical parts and stuff like that?
It's hard to say. Like I would imagine that they would they'd come out with guidelines and rules and like, you know what I mean, they're trying to fix it, or they'd have like a backup plan, like if this happens, here's this, like an EpiPen for allergies.
Exactly.
But, what my main worry about it is, and I've thought about this a couple of years back, and it's back to the whole robots taking over our bodies.
Okay.
Is if we have like this mesh brain and everything like that, what stops someone from making a virus and all of a sudden we all go blank and we're under this motherfucker's control?
I see what you're saying. So like mind
It's
control,
Skynet.
because it wouldn't even be that, like, you think
Not
of,
hard at
there's
all.
hackers now that say hack, like for instance the PS3 network, like
Yeah.
years back they hacked the PS3 network and shut it down.
Yeah, exactly.
What's to stop people to doing that for the mesh in our brains
Exactly.
if we were to get something like that to happen?
Yeah, and what
It-
stops them from just or shutting us down, and also now everyone's shut down.
Exactly, and like it kills everybody. Like it could be like a mass extinction and stuff like that.
and then done, and or like, you know, like that's like code
Or,
red, hit
or
the
even
red
it can
button,
cause,
you know?
or even they can cause virus through like make our brains think that we're sick through the mesh, you know?
Or like
like
can you
that-
imagine that just sitting there, and also we're all getting a message from the president, like just so you know, you're all going down.
And stuff like that. And then when you like get into like your brain and stuff, like the brain mesh that you were talking about, when you get into that, I worry about the fact of it taking over your brain or it going haywire
Or is,
like, you
This
know,
is
like
another idea.
it has a glitch. Like, say there's
Yeah.
glitches in the system. There's obviously going to be bugs. The only way to test it is by trial.
this is another idea.
So those trial people,
This could save it. Now I'm trying to think of the movie, and it's gonna drive me nuts. I think Bruce Willis was in it. They have like these, like you sit in a pod, and all of a sudden like you go into like a robot body, and like you control this robot body, you can feel it, everything. When it dies, you just wake up in a pod, and you got to go and buy a new body. And then you go in this
Really?
pod, and you sit there, and it activates, and then like, you're controlling this body and going around,
I'm not sure
and
which
it's a
movie.
robot.
Wow, that's
it's
crazy.
gonna drive me nuts. And like they even had a thing where it's like, when you're the robot, you can do a drug. You take like a little power outlet and you stab it into yourself, and like you get high as a robot and like shit like
Okay.
that. Like
I see what you're saying.
it's gonna drive me nuts. I believe it's Bruce Willis. I mean, what hasn't he been in?
Is it a newer movie or is it?
Yeah,
an older movie?
it came out before Looper.
Before Looper. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm not sure.
It was it's gonna drive me nuts. It was like it's actually an obsession. Let's see here. Good Day to Die Hard. Every day's a good day. Not Looper. Extraction? No.
I'm not sure.
I'm gonna like scream it when I see it. Surrogates.
Surrogates? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Let's see the log line here. In the near future, people live their lives free of pain, danger, and complications through robotic representations of themselves called surrogates. When the first murder in more than a decade rocks this near-perfect society, FBI agent Greer, Bruce Willis, discovers a vast conspiracy and must abandon his own surrogate to solve the crime, risking his own life in the process.
So more not like it's us in the future. It's more of us controlling things with our mind,
Like,
controlling our day-to-day lives through our mind, like in a stationary position. Like
Yeah.
you're in a pod thinking about things and you're controlling it through your mind, but you're controlling something else.
yeah, like you're there, you're awake. But when you move your arm, you're not moving your arm, you're moving this robot's arm. And like you're going about your day and you're in this robot and like this
Okay.
is you. But
Now,
when you
now
cut
are
yourself,
you are
see
you
wires.
still and you're just
Yes.
thinking
You're-
and
you're
the
in,
robot
yeah.
arm moves, or are you actually having to move your arm to get the robot arm to move as well?
You're in like a meditation state.
Oh, so you're just kind of like a vegetable sitting there, thinking
you're
about
like
things.
you're like plugged in. Like you ever see like in weird like sci-fi
Okay.
movies, you see like all the pods and people are sitting there still.
Yeah, they're just still,
It's like
and
that.
it's just their minds that are being used.
Yeah, like and it's cool. Like and the one scene, he's in a helicopter and the helicopter goes down and it crashes and all of a sudden, boom, he wakes up in the pod
Okay.
and he's like, "What the fuck?" No,
so now he gets a new pod,
now
gets
he
a
needs
new
to get a new
life.
surrogate.
Okay.
And like that could be something, but then again, we could have the thing where we don't go on a pod. We're just a surrogate, and that's our mind. And then we crash. They give us a new basic body, give us a backup, and then we go and find a new body that's better for. Like it could be crazy. Like, could you imagine the black market? These cyborgs coming out. Like you see these like prison bodies.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
this motherfucker's like cyborg from Teen Titans. Like
Yeah.
coming out like huge. Like ready to mess with you. One robotic eye and shit. One's hanging out. Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Could you see?
Like the things of the
Robot
future is
fighting
going to
league.
be stuff like that, like where there's robotic like limbs and extremities
Yeah.
and
Oh, I
internals and
wanna see-
externals and all that kind of stuff.
I want to say robotic Roman Reigns Superman punch. Oh, that'd be great. But could you imagine like cyborg boxing? Like just straight like if humans can punch fast now, imagine our compression.
Yeah, really.
Alrighty, guys, I think that just about wraps up this episode. Thank you very much for listening, and feel free to comment, subscribe, and leave any feedback that you may have in the comment section below.